Hello, class. Before we start today's review lesson, I just have a few things I need to say to the whole class and a few things to say to the seniors in particular. So for the whole class, the first thing I have to say is thank you. I'm so impressed. I can't believe the work you've been doing in the past few months and especially the past couple weeks, because I know it's hard to stay motivated. I have days where I'm not motivated to do this either. And so for the past couple weeks, as I made my lessons, I'm thinking, this is going to be the day. This is going to be the day where they just don't hand stuff in. I'm going to have to send tons of emails. This is going to be the day where they put nonsensical answers into the Edpuzzle. And for the most part, that hasn't happened. A couple people have had a day here or there, but for the most part, you guys have really stepped up. You've done all the work, and I'm so proud of you, and I appreciate it, and I hope you've gotten something out of it. The second thing I want to say to everyone is just a reminder that when we hit the last week of school around June 15th or 16th, I'm going to send everyone an email with the links to all 5 of the review lessons. So that way, if you ever need them, because they're in my YouTube, so I'll just send you the links. And if you ever need to review the lessons or the practice problems and answer keys in the future, you'll have those links. Seniors, just make sure to email that to yourself to a personal email, because in the past, they've shut off your access to email pretty much right after you graduate. So anything that you want from your email, make sure you get it over to yourself before graduation day. Next, I want to mention to the seniors because for the seniors, this might be your last lesson with us. This is the last lesson that you have to do. So the three lessons that we'll have next week, if you want to do them, go for it. If you do them, I'll give you the points in the grade book. You can do all of them, none of them, whatever you want. Just have them done by Friday so I can close out the grades for the seniors. But for the seniors, this might be your last lesson with us. So just to let you know, also keep an eye out for an email from me around June 15th or 16th as well. In addition to the links, I'm going to be sending the seniors a little message is my plan. Because I'm very sad that I won't see you again at school next year. Maybe you'll stop by and visit. But I'm relieved that I can still see the juniors and sophomores next year. So anyway, now we're ready to start today's review lesson. For today's review lesson, we are going to skip over this graphing calculator until next lesson. We're going to do a review of selected trig topics today. And let's begin. So for the trig topics, the trig topic I want to review today is probably the most important thing we did the entire year. And it's evaluating and solving with special angles when you don't use a calculator. So we haven't done this in a little while because we've been focused on logs and polynomials and rationals and things like that. But it's evaluating and solving. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you 5 problems to try, and you'll put your answers in the Edpuzzle, and then I'll show you the solutions. If at any point you feel like you're kind of rusty on this and you need to review, I've attached a link to the post in Google Classroom. So in Google Classroom for the post for today, there's a link to a video. And in that video, I review all 3 methods that I taught for evaluating and solving when it comes to special angles. So if you like the method where we use the special triangles and all students take calculus, you would only have to look at that video for the first 3 minutes and 45 seconds. If you need it at all, if this is very fresh and you don't need it, don't worry about it. If you like the unit circle method, you can just watch this time in the video. And if you like that combination method where you use the first quadrant of the unit circle and then all students take calculus, you can watch those last 2.5 minutes. All right, so at any point, if you want to go and look at that link that I posted in Classroom, feel free. Otherwise, let's get into the practice problems today. Here are the 5 problems we're going to do. If you printed the handout, you already have these. And basically, I'm just going to ask you to do it. You're going to put your answer in, and then I'll review the answer, mention a couple common places you might make a mistake, and then you can just reach out to me with any questions you have, any help you need. So if you didn't print the handout, you can jot those down. And go ahead and do number 1 right now, please. Okay, you should get -1/2. I usually use all students take calculus and the triangles, but I have the triangles in my head, so I don't write them down. If you're going to make a mistake on this, it could be making a positive because you forget to check your SIGN. Quadrant 2, you should be negative. The other common mistake would be having a radical 3/2 because you by accident switch 30 and 60 or switch the sides on the special right triangle. Number 2 was this one. Go ahead and type in your answer, please. And hopefully you got +1. Just because the angle is negative does not mean the ratio is negative. These can happen in any combination. Here's a positive angle, negative ratio. Here's a negative angle, positive ratio. The SIGN of the ratio is determined by the quadrant. So since this is in quadrant 4, where tangent is positive, the reciprocal tangent is also positive. Go ahead and try number 3, please. Number 3 is to evaluate the secant of pi. You should get -1 for that answer. We're all using the unit circle on this one because it's not a special reference angle. This is a quadrant angle because it lands on an axis. So I grab the x coordinate because x coordinate represents cosine and the y coordinate represents sine. And then when I flip -1, I end up getting -1/1 anyway. Go ahead and do number 4, please. This was another quadrant angle problem. If you try your reference angles 30, 60, 45, none of them will work. So where cosine is going to be 0 is right here and right here because the x coordinate is cosine. So you get 2 answers, pi/2 and 3 pi/2. Those happen to be in radians. If I were to ask for this in degrees, you would give this in degrees. But if you're going to calculus, you pretty much never see degrees. I threw it in for number 1 just to keep you on your toes, but you don't do too much with degrees in calc class. And here's your last one for today. Possibly seniors, your last problem with me this year. Go ahead and try that. And here's what I got, and here's how I did it. I'm not real comfortable with cosecant, so I flipped it to sine and I simplified. And then I figured out that my reference angle was 60 and my quadrants would be 1 and 2. So that's it. So thanks for watching. And anyone who's at the next lesson, I look forward to seeing your work from those. And seniors, I look forward to seeing the graduation ceremony. And I hope that I get to hear from you at some point. Good luck. Bye-bye.